Let's subtract some integers. This is good times, good times. First, what is an integer? Well, an integer is positive and negative numbers, including 0, that fall on a basic number line. Okay, so no decimals, no fractions, just numbers on the number line, positive, negative, and 0. Now, when we are subtracting, we're going to start with basic just so that we can see what's happening. So if I have 5 minus 3, okay, so I start at 5. That's here. Now, you'll notice I have a minus 3 on a number line. If I move to the right, it's positive. If I move to the left, it's negative. So if I have a negative 3, that means I'm going left 1, 2, 3, and my answer is 2. So we know that 5 minus 3 is 2. And I know you're thinking, well, yeah, I've known that forever, but that's the idea. So now when I have negative 2 minus 3, again, let's start with the number line idea. I'm starting at negative 2, and then I see minus 3. Okay, so that means I go 1, 2, 3, and my answer is negative 5 because I was at negative 2 and I got more negative. Sometimes it helps also if you think about money, right? If we have negative 2 minus 3, this means I owe you $2. I owe you $3 more. Well, if I owed you 2 and now I owe you 3 more, now I owe you 5. So that's negative 5. Let's subtract negative 3 minus negative 4. Okay, awesome. So we start at negative 3. Now, every time you see a minus, right, a negative sign also means opposite, right? If you're subtracting, that's the opposite of adding. So it's kind of an opposite thing. Okay, so first we see this sign, which means, okay, that means I'm going to go this way. And then you see another one, which means, nope, that means I got to go this way. So really, 2 negatives equal a positive. Because we go left, then we go the opposite, we end up going right on the number line, which is positive. So really, this is the same as negative 3 plus 4, which means 1, 2, 3, 4. We end up at 1. So that is one thing to very much note, is that 2 negatives equal 1 positive. So if you see 2 negatives right next to each other, because the idea is you would go left and then the opposite is to go right, it means we end up going to the right, which means it's positive. So 2 negatives equals a positive. So let's subtract 8 minus negative 7. Well, hopefully you say, hey, I have 2 negatives right here. So that means if I'm on a number line, I'm at 8 minus a negative. So I'm really going to add 7. So this is the same as 8 plus 7, which hopefully we all know is 15. Subtract negative 14 minus 3. Okay. So again, if I think number line, here's negative 14, and then I have minus 3. So I'm going left an additional 3 for an answer of negative 17. So this goes to the idea, and if you would prefer, you can change every subtraction sign to an addition by saying, okay, if I have negative 14 minus 3, that's really the same as negative 14 and negative 3, and I can add them together. Because if I think about this problem as, here's my negative 14 plus negative 3, I'm moving negative to the left 3. It's the same exact thing. So like my brain loves to see addition signs. My brain is not as happy with subtraction. So I like to change every subtraction problem to addition. And we did that on this last one because we had 2 negative signs and 2 negatives makes a positive. So we can do the same thing when we subtract. Negative 13 minus a negative 10. Well, here I see 2 negatives, so I know that those become a positive. So I have negative 13 plus 10. If I think number line, here's negative 13, and I'm going to add 10, but I'm still to the left of 0, so that means I'm at negative 3. And again, we talked about in the adding integers video that if the signs are different, negative 13 and a positive 10, we can subtract, and 13 is bigger, 13 is negative, so my answer will be negative 3. So keep that in mind when we are dealing with subtracting integers.